And another thing I noticed that was also an issue for you at the early start was that you were only 5 months in, and then you wrote a post saying that financial planners were taking your post and repurposing and using it as well. So I wonder if you could
Yeah.
share that issue and how you dealt with it.
That upset me a lot initially, yeah, because like I put in so much like sweat, like after work. I sacrificed time I could be spending with my girlfriend slash fiance slash wife, and then you just take it and then you take profits off of it. And then here we are like worrying about monetization, whether we'll be able to make money from this, whether we will still be around in 3 months. And then you start making commissions and money off of it by spreading our stories. And I think
And not always pushing products that we
yeah, so that I took it very hard at first. And another thing that I also I think I was very upset was when people started translating our stuff without my permission or reposting it without even tagging to our page. I really dislike the translation, not because of the notion of it. I think the notion is actually really cool. That people found our stuff so resonant that they wanted to translate it. And nowadays I just ignore it. Back then I was very worried that because we were talking about financial stuff, right? This is stuff that potentially could affect the way that people invested for their future. So I also didn't want the translation to go by that we didn't kind of vet in terms of the way that they were talking about the terms, because we also don't know Indonesia or Malay, or my
Philippines.
Chinese also not very good.
Yeah.
His Chinese also not very good.
Hey,
So we don't want it to come out in the wrong context and have the wrong kind of slight connotation. Like little things like that really matter when it comes to financial stuff. Yeah, nuance very important. But like, so I was always messaging people like, hey, can you please stop posting our stuff without at least linking to us, because right now we are a young page. We don't even know if we're gonna be around next month. So can you please at least give us the traffic, because it's all we have. Nowadays, I don't quite care because there's just too many of them, and it is still a bit upsetting sometimes when you just get like tens of thousands of shares, and it's like, yeah, nowadays whatever lah. Yeah. So then I'm thinking about whether should I watermark all the images, but I feel like watermarking it might take away the experience.
Yeah, it will hurt the viewer experience, and we want to put the viewer first.
But actually, right, it's more laziness on my part, to be honest, because I don't want to put a watermark everything. But it might also help because it could be like, if it's appropriated elsewhere, right, then they might wonder, hey, who made this? Then, oh, it's on every page.
Yeah.
But if you want to watermark, right, if you watermark by putting it at the edge, right, sometimes they will just crop the edge anyway.
Yeah.
So it decreases the viewing. But that's just part of social media. I've come to accept it now. Now that we are more known and less vulnerable, I just see it as a thing that just happens, and I'm not that bothered by it anymore. But when I started, I was so beside myself. Just, oh no, they're stealing our viewers.
Yeah.
Yeah. But nowadays I'm not worried, because I mean we are the originators. So when we gotta make it, then they can take it.
Yeah.
So it's not like they are taking away our ability to make it.
Yeah. So we trust our ability to create good content consistently.
What is saying what's so
I'm thinking.
Oh,
then all they are the exporters of those content.
Yes.
So once the supply stops,
yeah,
then they are
a true threat would be if they started making stuff that we were gonna make, like we were just gonna publish, then they publish something that's exactly the same, which is extremely like unlikely. So now I'm not so scared.
So I wonder, I mean, like obviously you're a lot more established, so less concerned, but obviously this is still an issue for young content creators who no one knows. So like looking back, do you have any advice or anything you would do differently that people can do now when it's just coming out?
So one advice that I might give is that very early on, right, a mantra that we quite undeniable. So there were a lot of things that we wanted to do. We always compared ourselves to bigger platforms, and we were like, okay, we're smaller than them now. And we never wanted to really go out there and curry favor. Like, really, please help us publish this kind of thing.
Like please feature us.
Yeah, please feature us. Can you, we just wrote this thing. So maybe it's bad, it might be bad advice. So please take this with a grain of salt, because outbound marketing is necessary in some cases. But for us, we really wanted to do less outbound and then force them to come to us. So we would make stuff that we always tilted our stuff towards our readers and less towards possible clients or collaborators, so to speak.
Yeah.
So we make it so that the readers come to us, and when enough readers come to us, we will be so undeniable that the big players that we wanted to court would also then come to us as a result.
Yeah.
So this play doesn't apply to universally, so don't just anyhow copy. If you need to do outbound, please do your outbound, very important. we are also starting to think about doing some outbound. It's just we need time to do it. But that was a mantra that we held very early on. But when it comes to advice that we did, something wrong that we did, is there anything that comes to mind? I don't want to come out cocky also because there's nothing that we did wrong. Confirmed got a lot. It's just that I can't think of anything off the top of my head now. But maybe one thing that I almost did was we had early investors that would come to us with offers. And nothing against these investors. I mean, investors also need to get their money's worth, understand that they will negotiate also. And it's not like I felt like they lowballed us. They certainly didn't.
Yeah.
But they gave us at that point of time very interesting offers that I was so taken by. But nowadays it's actually very small money to us. But back then I was like, oh, that's a lot of money. I can clear my debt with this one thing. But actually, equity-wise, it would not have made sense. So, and I was very close to it. If Ruiming was not with me, I think I might have actually, if I was a solo founder, I might have done some of these deals. Not that they are bad, but it would have been bad for us. So
You've
one thing
offered,
that I
like-
try to think about,
They were offering
Sorry?
like $10,000 for equity, right?
more than that, but it was for a significant portion of our equity. Not that they were necessarily bad news, but the way I like to look at it was, I have a future vision of where the Woke Salaryman might be. If I was to sell, right, that future vision would sell for a lot more. So I'd rather build that first, build that maximum potential you can be to sell, and then you try to find. And if you don't need the money, don't sell just to say, I got venture capital funding. That would be my kind of advice. But I strayed super close to it because now it's like the Vogue thing now is venture capitalism, angel investors to come in early and then just pump it with money. But early on, our tenet was always about profitability first, in a very old-fashioned way. You know, we wanted to be able to.
Cool company.
We're very uncool actually. In terms of like super conservative, we're not that brave, We seem brave because we quit our jobs, but we only quit our jobs when we were able to afford it.
Yeah.
And we had to have like 3 months or 6 months of indication that we would have enough salary to pay ourselves for the next 3 to 6 months. Then we quit our job. It's a super conservative story that's not that cool and not that sexy.
And we didn't live until like our last cent. Then we
it's not that kind of story.
No such thing.
Maybe it will come next time, but I have no doubt we will meet difficulty down the road. But so far we have been very lucky. I just say don't. The lesson is just don't sell if you don't need to sell, and if you can hold out. Yeah.
So I mean, maybe have a strong financial position before you explore.
Yeah. What Ruiming always told me,
yeah.
and this was advice that he gave me before I started to invest, is to save up 6 months first. Whether it's expenses or salary, I chose salary because salary is an even more conservative figure. I've always been super conservative.
Yeah.
So that kept me very, very safe. And when I quit my job also, that kept me very, very safe. It's like more like not don't quit your job, but quit your job when you have enough money so you can make a real good go of it. You can make your best shot at it. Don't like do 1 month then no money, I gotta go back.
Yeah.
Then you didn't really take a good shot at it.
That's how you can be consistent, right? You have like this war chest that you can survive off while you take a shot.
Yeah.
So when you took that shot, you resigned, you had that 6-month runway. Do you also already have clients? So you could already estimate, okay, these are the profits that are coming in. At least I can last these few months as well.
Yeah, all of those things.
Yeah, all those things. Yeah.
We took on clients and we were doing our 9 to 5 jobs for quite a while.
It was quite crazy. It was really quite crazy.
It was insane.
We worked until like 2-3 every day.
Yeah.
It was a huge strain on the relationship.
Yeah, so I would say actually, our girlfriends / fiancés / wives were okay. Wife, I'm talking about myself. I don't want to put anything on him.
All right.
No due pressure.
Okay, thanks.
But they really put up with a lot of shenanigans from us. They understood that this was something that we had to do, and I think it turned out well, but it could have not also.
And I think
relationship front,
it is not easy for a partner to do that. I mean, which is why a lot of people also don't go into starting their own thing. Start a business, then but that means you'll be you cannot have supper with me tonight. You don't do lah.
But good thing we started early. Like if we have kids, how much harder would that be?
Of course, like
that would be even harder.
Yeah.
If we're in our 40s or 50s, then we're tired already. This might not even happen.
Unless you are already like quite well to do in your 40s.
Yeah. You have that luxury to be able to just quit and do it properly.
Yeah.
So I think we got the right combination of luck and then you
quite heng
understanding partners.
Quite lucky.
Was it a difficult conversation telling them this is your intention, this is what's going to happen?
I think with me there were some arguments, and definitely for me, right, I told Ruiming also at one point that I'm not gonna do this forever lah. Like if we keep doing this for 3-4 years and nothing comes to it, I will just stop doing it and I'll do something else. Because if I'm sacrificing my weeknights and weekend nights and it comes to nothing, there's no money coming in, I'm not doing this. And there are some things that I walked away from that I started with friends and I regret walking away from because they're successful now also in different ways that I look back and go, wow. That I told them like I'm walking away if I can't make money, and there was no clear way to make money at that point in time.
Yep.
And I walked away like, and I regretted it for a long time, for a long time. I still regret it to a certain extent. But great thing about Ruiming and I was that actually right before we started Woke Salaryman, when we met socially, right, we always say, hey, how to make money? Like we just discuss socially for
That's
fun,
crazy,
how to make money. Like this was our. So
Our
it
thing,
was always it was
how to
always,
monetize. It
was
everything.
never anything that I hate. That I wanted Woke Salaryman to be profitable. People ask me, hey, why you start Woke Salaryman? Is it to help uplift the lower and the middle classes? Yes, that. But first of all, I wanted to make money.
Yeah.
But I never denied it.
Yeah, I mean, I come from an agency where creative directors can be paid like 20, 30K
30K
for work that doesn't really have much impact outside.
The industry, they win awards.
Yeah. So if I'm making impact, then why can't I earn 20 or 30K? You know, I was.
Also, if we're making impact with Woke Salaryman, why shouldn't we be eventually?
Yeah, why not?
One day we will maybe earn that much.
Yeah, why not?
Each,
yeah.
Right. Hopefully lah.
Hopefully.
Maybe one day we'll get there.
Yes. I'll let you know.
So one of the things, I mean, like we talked about successes, and I think a lot of people would say that you have been successful. In 1 year, you had over 150,000 followers. Now it's over 202,000 on Instagram. What was it that drew people to you that allowed it to just grow so fast?
First of all, I think last year, a lot of people started to take interest in money. So I think that definitely helped us. I mean, probably drew some followers away from like, you know, the travel content, which was what a lot of people were loved pre-COVID. So a lot of it was also luck also. I think Wei Choon's ability to help simplify and present ways in a very accessible visual
you do it
manner.
Do it with words. I do it with pictures.
So that also definitely helped because in a way we had, I mean, now that people are trying to doing the same thing, so it's no longer new and fresh. But I think at the time, which is like I would say 2019 to early 2020, it was quite a new and refreshing way to present
complicated and boring things.
Topics. Yeah. So I would say really these two things, and the fact that we did it consistently. I mean, we just want to stress like consistency is really super important. Yeah.
And how do you build that community around you that's passionate to your brand? Because that's one of the things that content creators always struggle with, right? People, your core big fans who really support you. And if you look at the comments, you always get lots of comments and they really care about your characters. Like the marshmallow, I think there was once he appeared like a 101010 and they were like, why is he like that? Where's the marshmallow? Why is he so hard? So they care a lot about what you're doing.
Yeah, I think our approach has always been to be as transparent as possible and be as authentic as possible. We even go to the extent of telling them like, oh, this is how you earn money. This is a sponsorship post. These are our challenges when presenting content. So I'm not sure whether this qualifies as a strategy, but we just tell them like, hey, we don't think of us as like some incredibly smart people with no problems. We have a lot of problems like running this page also. And I think by sharing, it helps build an understanding. Yeah. One thing I also try to do is that I used to try to reply every single DM that came in, but nowadays it's damn hard. Like, cause now we're 200K. So sometimes I feel guilty looking at all the DMs. But I think when you have to understand. Yeah. But I think it helps to show and to be genuinely interested in people's progress.
Yeah.
Sometimes I still check in with people who have followed us since when we were at like 16K followers, and I check on how they're doing. Yeah, because truly care about, how, like, whether or not, hey, have you stuck to your financial goals? Have you stayed invested? Do you have an emergency fund? Have you gotten an insurance plan you're talking about getting 1 year ago? What's your current progress like? So I think that definitely helps a lot, because on their end they feel like someone is caring, and my end, it lets me see like the real impact that we're having. Someone actually stopped gambling because of us. Someone started saving because of us. And I think like it makes it like super worthwhile to me.
What's the most meaningful impact story that you've had?
Yeah, there was this kid who texted me anonymously, say like, hey, thank you for your content. It really inspired me to get my finances in check. I come from like a broken family, and I haven't really had the best start. And I got into like a gambling addiction for like the past few years. But I read your content, and I'm going to get out of it. And I think about that. When I read it, I was like damn touched, because you I don't think in advertising I would ever be able to help someone with like a decision like that. And it's quite a privilege to be able to do something like that, and also while earning money at the same time.
And I think you also do lots of different experimentations to reach out to people. I think, Wei Choon, once you did this Facebook live stream to take on the Sailor Moon withdrawal challenge. How was that?
No, this is a trend thing, but I like doing Facebook lives, and I would like to do more lives. I'm just not sure in what way we can do it properly, because it takes time to grow a proper side channel, or to grow on a new platform, or to do a new thing, and we're just still content production wise, it's just still two of us. We have a new that's joining us also to help us out, but it's still mainly a lot two of us doing it. So if we want to do TikTok and stuff, I will still see it being a new thing. So these experiments are very useful to just kind of get a sense of what we should put our efforts into. So the live thing is great. I enjoy doing it because it's just me drawing, which I do anyway. I'm just talking to the viewers as I draw. So it's very entertaining for me. I think people have told me that it's soothing or whatever, but I also don't know
His
whether
voice is very soothing.
a lot of people say that. I don't think so. When I hear it back, I hate it.
ASMR. So.
The thought of you thinking of it as ASMR is a big deal.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not something that I'm thinking of doing like properly, but people have requested for me to do it weekly. But sometimes I just shy and I'm nervous. Like every time I want to do the live thing, I've done like I think like 4 or 5 of it.
Yeah.
Every time like 10 minutes before, I hate myself that I signed on to do it. I'm like, oh, why am I doing this? I'm so nervous. It's so scary. But when you started, it's okay.
Yeah.
People are so nice to us.
And I think one of the things that we have to talk about is finances, because I mean, it's one thing to do a passion project, another thing to run a business. You need to have inbound finances. So I understand that very quickly within the first few months, you got your first sponsor post from CPF and they approached you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. How did that happen? Like, you must have done something right.
How did it happen?
I think they just emailed us and I said, okay.
Yeah. You know why? Because we were #undeniable.
Yeah, we try to reach as much as possible, be as genuine as possible, be really truly helpful as possible. And I think CPF probably thought, hey, they can probably do some content for them. And then, yeah.
I mean, we genuinely think it's a good product for the right people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we were saying things about it anyway, and I think they noticed. And it was a very organic collaboration, actually, that first one. It was a lot less troublesome than I thought it would be. They were actually very nice.
Yeah. I mean, they were pretty taken aback on how unfiltered our opinions were on CPF were. And I expected them to push back a lot more and say, oh, this cannot say, that cannot say. But like, yeah, they're actually really open and was really refreshing. Even today, our collabs, we try to keep the same thing going, we try to publish stuff that we would have published anyway. So it really helps to be authentic. So for example, if we will not create a new post about, that's not accurate way to say it. We will not like go out of our way to sully our brand values by creating something that we don't believe in. For example, buy a new Mercedes. I mean, we'll never carry content like that.
So a lot of our content, because it's all organically based, like meaning, right? Say if I talk to client A and then we develop an idea, we will believe in idea A of the concept of the concept so much that even if client A backs out, we will either be able to run it ourselves, or we believe in it so much that we can sell it to another client. It becomes a long. So nothing is wasted.
Yes.
When when you're authentic, nothing is wasted, because even the client stuff that is rejected, you can post it anyway. And some of our negotiations have went that way, where we develop something with the client. Initially they're okay, then later on in the later drafts they are not cool with it. Then we say, okay lah, then never mind. You don't need to pay us. We cancel it here, and then we'll just run the story. And it gives us a little bit of bargaining power, and it helps us to be super authentic. And we found that the authenticity is super important, and what keeps people coming back to us, because we are very upfront with how we make money. Yeah.
Was this kind of like policy something you implemented from the start? I mean, imagine when you are just starting, when you get all these offers, it's very hard to say no. You would want the money, but then you also want to stay true to your values.
Yeah, I don't think it was hard, and this is a very privileged way.
It is privileged.
Yeah, because I mean, when we started Woke Salaryman, I already had like
with a list of don'ts. We don't want to be this kind. And we had learned from our previous experiences throughout our various companies how difficult it is to negotiate with the clients if you are not authentic in the first place. So it was very important that we have been creating content before that, so we had a precedent and we knew what we were doing. We can fight back and say, look, we've done this before.
Do you want to have shitty content? We've done it before. Do you want to do this?
So if we just follow you,
if
we follow you, we lose, you lose, the reader lose, everybody lose. So we'd rather just walk away. So having that experience helps so much.
And of course, having money helped. I mean, I already had 100K saved then. So
I was on my way. I had my 6 months ready.
So like, don't want. I mean, I rather invest long term in my brand than take your money to create a possibly lame piece of content that will hurt my brand.
I mean, don't get us wrong. There are dollar signs that will make me question my integrity. If say a client will just ridiculously say, "Oh, I'll pay you $5 million for an article." Seriously, like if you are a fan of Woke Salaryman, right, we would take it on. Then we would. It's something we would do. Like there is that kind of stupid money, but people are not stupid like that. Clients are also not stupid, so that's not gonna happen. So we understand the real value of playing the long game by keeping our brand authentic, and we turn down so much money sometimes that makes me like,
In many ways, maybe this is controversial, but I think you need money to be authentic and have values you can stand by. It's very easy to say like, oh, I will never do this.
It's a sellout.
Yes, but then like if you have no money, right? Wow, I can imagine. Like beggars can't be choosers. You just do every single thing, even if it's not authentic.
Yeah, ironically, I found that I was sort of not very rich, and I had a lot of integrity and a lot of things to say. Then I had a mortgage and stuff. Then I had to sell out for a while, and I joined a job that was not really my calling or my passion, but I earned quite a bit from it. I joined a medtech firm where they agreed to pay me $6,000 to just do design stuff and marketing. And actually, because I sold out and I started earning good money from that for a while, and I had my 6 months, right, then that money that I earned selling out allowed me to give me enough cushion to be authentic and not ultimately sell out later on. So it also depends.
You can sell out in a way that
you keep my eyes on the prize. I'm selling out now to accomplish something even bigger. You may doubt me now, you may think I'm selling out, but you wait. In 5 years, I'll come back, I'll do something amazing, and you'll think, wow, all along he was biding his time.
I think important to tag onto that is that even though you quote unquote sold out, the people around you didn't call you out for it, right? They didn't look down on you for doing that.
Not just being called out. So I'm a passionate artist, and I've always been. I still am to a certain extent. And I thought, like, what are my peers going to think about this? That I am not taking up. Actually, nobody cares. All my peers are like, yeah, it's very hard, Like I wish earlier I did this, and nobody cares. And if somebody cared, they're either not telling me, or if they cared, right, they are free to come and tell me and make a case. But in all likelihood, it will be not a good case. And then I would just, you don't be friends with me, don't be friends with me. Then I don't care already. Like seriously, unless you are willing to pay me to not sell out. How about you pay me 4K a month? Then? You just pay me and I'll never sell out. How about that? But none of my peers would obviously have the wherewithal to even do that, or the even inclination to do that. So actually, my peers didn't mind, and they actually, most of them had told me, hey, it's damn cool. Like, what, really? I was so worried that y'all would judge me for it. But nobody judged me, or maybe they'll forgive me. There's a WhatsApp group like Wei Choon sucks.
Fuck Wei Choon. I hate him.
Yeah, every day just
Worst guy ever.
look at this thing he
He
made.
fell again. Oh my god, disgusting.
I don't think so lah.
I don't think so. Yeah, but anything can happen. As Ellie Goulding said in a song that one time.
Okay.
I can't remember what year.
Did you have trouble selling out?
No, I mean I always like I'm a very money driven person. Yeah, I earn money. A lot of people will always tell them, you go do sponsor content for like I don't know 1-2 weeks, then you try. Then usually they try and then they're like, okay,
I get it.
Creating sponsor content creating content itself is hard. So yeah, I think to everyone who criticize sponsor content out there, or running a page, you try to make it sustainable first. Then
you can come and talk.
Because like we will not.
We'll listen.
Yeah. But we will not have conversations with people who have not created stuff before and still want to like nyam on like how pages are sustainable. Because like you didn't even do things like why should I even listen to you? You know what I mean? Yeah.
And I think like could you share a bit about how you think about the negotiations with clients? Because especially when you're just starting, you don't really have that kind of power, right? And then slowly you gain more authority. So what are the important things to bear in mind?
So actually we had the power from the very beginning, simply because of our
privilege of having worked on 9 to 5 and then do this as a side hustle. That gave us the ability to say no.
Yeah. So I think even during our first year, we turned down, I think, close to 50K worth of business.
Which is quite unimaginable for a first year startup.
Yeah, that is like the salary when I was at Malaysia.
Yeah.
Imagine like turning that down.
Could be like half a year of expenses for a small company with rental space.
Right? Yeah. But we managed to do it because we had substantial own savings, and we also had a stable job. Negotiation, there have been people who tell us like, no, you are very expensive or what. But I think market research always helps. So what I do is like, I look at other people's rate card, then I see like, oh, what are the rates? Then like, oh, can we reach their reach? If we can, we will charge what the market is charging, because I'm not going to undersell ourselves. And if creative directors can be paid $20,000, then why I cannot be paid $20,000? Right. So it has never been a struggle for me, and maybe I'm very mercenary that way, but I mean I feel this is what it takes to run a page. You must be aware of what your competitors are charging, and then you either provide so much value and undercut them, which I think is not helpful, or you charge competitively, so the whole industry can be sustainable.